All right, students, so this video is going to go over some of the items that we have went over in class. As we know, as we talked about it in class, that Microsoft does a great job in keeping everything together. You may see something a little bit different because I'm working on a Mac, so the layout is a little bit different, but the tabs that you see on Microsoft Windows are right here: Home, Insert, Draw, Page Layout, Formulas, and Data. So the Home tab is right here. As you know, the Home tab, every tab that you have, it has grouped different options or different tools together. If you look at this group right here, it has all the options for copy, pasting, and format painter. The next tab that you see is the font tab that gives you options to work with font or edit font. The next right here, this third group is an alignment tool, alignment group that gives you options to align items. Plus, it has wrap text and merge and center. Then you have a number or a tab that helps you identify the format of that particular cell or particular column. Then we have our style tab where we went over conditional formatting. We have cell tabs that group that allows you to insert, delete, or format cells. Then we have our editing group that will help you or that helps us with formulas or filtering and all, and that is also available in under the data tab. Okay, so the data that you're looking at right here, uh, you will be able to download it, or you probably have downloaded it from your from Canvas that I have uploaded. It is in your files. Also, it is available in your announcements. The first thing what we're going to do is um, we're going to learn about, we have done that already, but I'm going to quickly go over it one more time with you guys. Here, in this case, what we are doing is we are going to go delete this information from the cell G. That was a total value. The way that we usually calculate the total value if you have units sold and the units sold and the unit cost, we multiply the units sold with the unit cost and the total cost comes in. Let me show you how that works. So if there's a product, so let's say if you buy, I'm just going to put it here and kind of give you an example right here. So if you buy 5 cups of coffee, right? So I'm going to say 5 cups of coffee, and you bought it for $1.99. So you multiply that to give you the total cost of how much you bought. So in this case, 5 multiply by 199, and the total cost will be $9.95. Now, taking the same example, I'm gonna go to this box and I'm gonna hit equal sign. As you know, whenever we write a formula in Microsoft Excel, you write equal. And now I'm gonna click on this cell in units. So whenever I click on it and it gives you the number right here, the cell name, it is referencing to this cell. So whenever it says E2, I'm referencing to this cell, and that means that anytime whatever the value comes in into E2 will be set for this formula. Okay. Now we're going to say times the unit cost. So I'm going to click on the unit cost, and now I'm referencing to the value of cell of F2. You have to really understand that doesn't matter what value goes in F2 will be used in this formula. It does not matter. It is at this time it is 199. In future it could be 299, and we'll show you how that would really change everything. So let's go here. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit and show you here. Okay, so I clicked here, and if you look at the formula right here, and if you double click on it, you'll go back to the formula. It is saying multiply or E2 in F2. Okay, let's go here in F2 and change the value to 299. See how suddenly the value changes here too? So it is very helpful given a reference because um, I'm going to bring the value back. Because now you don't have to worry about changing the formula every time. You will just change the value here and suddenly it changes. Okay. Now, in order for me to copy this data, I can write this data again and again. So I can go here, this, and this. Okay, now we're talking about E3 and F3 because we're talking about selling binders. Now, this is a good way to do it. You can write all of them, but right now we don't have much data. We have only 44 data sets. But what if we have thousands of them? It will take a lot of time to copy that formula, all those lines, or write that formula, all those lines. So the best way to do it is copy the formula down. And what we'll do is we're gonna go to the bottom of this cell, bottom right of this cell. And as you see, the cursor is currently white cross with black border. When I hover over the bottom right, it turns into a black black cursor, black plus sign or black cross. And when I'm going to click and hold, I'm going to left click and hold, and I'm going to drag it down. And when I drag it down, I'm going to drag it down to row 44, and it copies all the formula. And if you see that this one is E4, this one will be E5, this one will be this one will be E5. Oh, this one will be E5, this one will be E6, this one will be E7, E8. So all those numbers are changing. The cells are changing because we referenced to this one, but when we copied it, now it automatically updates the cell reference because it knows that we are now talking about the next cell. It is a great way to copy the formula, but remember, it automatically, when you're copying it, it automatically changes the cell, the reference of the cell number. So, okay, now we're gonna do, and this is more like a subtotal because sometimes we have tax too, and we'll do that in few minutes. This is a subtotal. Now we'll calculate tax, and then we'll add the total and show it into the next column. All right, so let's do one thing. You see how this one is coming into the next line? I'm gonna kind of nicely format it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on row 1, and I'm just gonna go in here. Actually, I'm gonna click all those columns and just double click on this. Go like this. Drag it so that it looks kind of nicer. Also, I'm gonna center align it, middle align it, increase the height of this cell so it looks kind of nicer. Okay. Now we're gonna calculate tax. Okay, and also what I want to do is I want to make sure this box has the same format as this one. So I'm going to use the format painter, but in order to use the format painter, I'm going to click on this subtotal. So not really, this doesn't matter which cell I click on. Anywhere I want to copy the format from, I'm going to click on that cell, click on format painter. Now if you see that it started to have a border that is moving, like a white border, right? That means I have copied the format. Now, look at the cursor. It is a white plus sign with a little paint. That means now I'm ready to paste that format. So now I click on it, boom, I have my new formatting for the same formatting for the new cell. Okay, now the text. For a little bit, just for you to learn, or for this example, I'm going to show you a different way to do it too. But for now, I'm just going to write down what is the tax we have. In Jersey, we are calculating 6.875, I believe, % of tax. So I'm going to leave it like that. It could be different. So you see, as I do 6.87875, it rounded to 2 digits. We have done that a couple of weeks ago, but I'm going to show it to you again. If you go to the number format tab group in your home tab, you will see that there are two buttons right here. One is to increase the decimal point, the other one is to decrease decimal. So I'm going to click on increase. Now I am 861.875. Okay. Now, very simply, how do we calculate the tax? I'm going to equal, press the equal sign. Then I'm going to click on my subtotal because I want to calculate the tax on my subtotal. And then I'm going to multiply that with my tax. I'm going to make sure that it says 6.875% because when I do that, it will automatically multiply and automatically, whenever it says 6.875, it automatically calculates what's the percentage and multiply that percentage to 189. Okay, so the result will be 12.99. But imagine if I just write down 6.875 without the percentage sign. I'm going to put a general here for now, so the formatting goes. So you see I put it 6.875 without the percentage sign. Suddenly the value changes, right? So I have to make sure that I keep it as a percentage because otherwise it's going to keep it as a general calculation. So now when I do this, beautifully it is done. It looks great. Okay. But this is my report, so I really don't want to see this tax written right here, correct? I mean, I can copy this formula. Oh, this is another problem, right? Let's talk about this problem first, that when I'm going to copy my formula, it is giving me 0. The reason for it is giving me 0 is, so if you look up here, where I wrote my formula, I'm referencing to G2 and then I1, correct? Now, let's look up here. What is my reference to? It is G3. G3 is correct. I want to calculate the tax on 999.5 value. But if you look up here, it is now referencing to I2. I really don't want to reference to I2 because my value is right here, 6.875, or in this, I should have 6.875. It is here, it's in I1. I don't want my reference to change as I go down. So if you look right here, if you go here, now I'm referencing to I3. In here, now I'm going to be referencing to I4. This is not what I want. So Excel has something called absolute reference. It means reference will not change. And you know how to do that is I'm going to go to my formula and I'm going to put a dollar sign in front of my value. So dollar sign, the name, I1. Now, remember this, that whenever I'm putting dollar sign in front of the I, it is saying now I'm referencing to absolute column I. Means do not change column I, right? But in this case, when I'm changing my values, I'm not really changing columns, I'm changing the rows, right? So when I went down here, it kept the column same, but row is changed to 2. Here, row is changed to 3. I'm more worried about my row changing than column, okay? So I'm going to say $1. That means now I'm ultimate reference to the row 1, okay? Now when I copy the formula, you will see now it will be great. It will be calculating tax, and this one will stay I1, this one will be I1, this one will be I1. Now, if I go ahead and do this, does it make any difference? No, it would not make any difference because what I am saying by putting $I, $1 is I'm saying that this is an absolute reference to that cell I1. Now, I know it is a little bit complicated, but I want you to focus on this dollar sign. If I say $I, $1, that means I'm referencing to the absolute row, absolute column, and absolute row. If I remove this dollar from I, that means I can change my row. So it means if I copy my formula this way, now what's going to happen, it's going to change my formula to, sorry, let me remove the dollar sign from here. Now if I move my dollar sign from here to here, it's zero again. Reason is because now it moved my column from I to J, because it's not, I'm not talking about an absolute reference. I'm allowing my column to be changed. If I go here, you will see that column will remain J because I'm going down in the same column, but cell remained that row remained the same. Okay, row remains same. That is 1. So this is the benefit of the absolute reference to a row and a column, that if you put absolute dollar sign I dollar sign 1, you are referencing to that cell, particular cell. So it will never change, and this will help you have the better values, the correct values all around. Okay, it is great. Automatically came up. You know, everything is, wherever you go, you will see it will be referencing to I1. Okay, now let's talk about something different, right? Not different, but a little bit more exciting. So we don't want to see 6.875 to be up front right here. What we want to do is we want to keep it in a different sheet so that nobody sees it. There is a way that we can really hide it, but I don't want to, we won't go there yet. What I will do is I'm going to create a new tab. And how would I create a new tab is by clicking this plus sign on the bottom left hand side. I'm going to plus sign, and I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to name it tax. Okay, you can name it differently. So I'm going to, this one I'm going to name it by right clicking on it and go to rename, and I'm going to say sales. This one is tax. Here, New Jersey tax, and I'm going to write down 6.875%. Now, if I want to reference in this formula, instead of this cell, I want to reference it to this cell, what would I do? Now, let me show you quickly how that works right here. So I want G2 to stay there because I want to reference it to the subtotal, but my reference to the cell is going to change. Now I'm talking about cell in a different sheet, correct? So now, in order for me to do that, first I need to write down, if I'm doing it in the same sheet, then I write down just the name of that cell, correct? Name of that cell, and it will reference to it. You see how it automatically selected that? But now what I'm saying is I'm referencing it to another sheet. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to say, write the name of the sheet. What is the name of the sheet? Tax. So I'm going to write tax. Okay. Then I'm going to put this exclamation mark. Now it is saying go to the sheet tax, and then go to cell number B1, I believe. When I do this, it is B1 right here. This is the B1. When I do this, it automatically picks up the value from there. Okay. This is how simple it is. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to copy this formula, and you will see that there's something, almost the same thing that's going to happen that we will have to fix. Okay, the values are 0. Why are they 0, right? We have to think about this. So this one, we are referencing it to B1. So okay, B1 is there. So this is all good, right? So B1 is there. We are all set. But what happens here? Now it is referencing it to B2. This one is referencing it to B3. This one is to 4, 5. I don't want this reference to ever change. I want it to keep referencing it to B1. How would I do that? Yes, you guessed it right. we have to reference it as an absolute reference. And that is by putting the dollar sign in front of the column and then the dollar sign in front of the row. Now I'm talking about absolute reference to that cell. Now I'm going to go smoothly and I'm going to go in here and I am able to reference everything correctly to the proper cell. Okay. I hope you guys have no questions here. It should be very simple. Now, always remember, if you are working on this and you are working on Excel, you can pause the video anytime so that you follow along what I'm doing. Okay, now let's do the total here. Now let's do the total, and I'm going to copy the format again. I'm going to click on the cell that I want to copy the text format from, and I'm going to paste it here. Now I want to do the total. Total is the subtotal plus the tax. So I'm going to click on this plus this, hit enter, and then copy my formula down. Oh, not that down. Good. Now I want to do something different here. What I want to do is I want to say total of all sales. Okay, you see how it is coming out a little bit? I'm going to go here and I'm going to wrap the text so that I see it like this. And also I'm going to format it the same way. Okay. Now, how would I calculate this format of all sales, total of all sales? Is I can do auto sum. I can click on this box and use the auto sum. It will automatically give me the range that I want to sum from. Okay, it will work. That's great. But what if I'm not here, I'm here, and I want to do auto sum? If I do this, then my auto sum is really not going to work the way that I want it. That's why I want you to learn the formula. Okay. Anytime we write the formula, we're going to write equal and then the formula. The formula is sum, S-U-M. Excel is very good when you are writing a formula. It kind of gives you a hint of what you need to do. Okay, so when I write sum, it told me that, okay, you know what, there are multiple sum that are there. So I said I want to use just sum. And then I'm going to open parentheses. You can write numbers here one by one, or you can write the full range of it. So if you look up here, I can select the range multiple ways. I can click. You see, as I bring it on top of this cell, it tells me that I'm on I2. You see right here, it's right next to it, it's giving me a reference of I2. I can click and drag, okay, and I'll show you here. So I'm going to click on and drag, okay, and it will select the range for me. Okay. The other way I can do is I can just write it. If I know what is my range, I'm on I2 to I44. So I'm going to write I2 colon I44. This is my range, and don't ever forget to close your parentheses. When you do that, hit enter, it will calculate your total. Okay, that's how simple it is. Yeah, I hope it helps you guys. We're going to do two more formulas, and very easy formulas. One is max and one is minimum, and then I'm going to end this video for you guys. Okay, so maximum sale, and I'm going to actually go here and I'm going to wrap text for all three cells, and also I'm going to copy the format from here, paste it here, and paste it here. Okay, this one will be minimum value. All right, here, now maximum value, there's a formula called max. What this formula does, it goes to the range that I'm going to write here, and in this case, the same range I2 to I44. So it is going to go to the range, and it's going to say which one is the biggest value, and it's going to show you the biggest value. When I hit enter, so 2008 is the highest value in this range. Minimum value is the same way, MIN, and you give the range I2 colon I44. Now it's going to go to their range, it's going to find the minimum value and post it there for you. Okay. Again, very simple formulas, but just remember, anytime you write formulas, it starts from equal. You write the formula, then you open parentheses, close parentheses, and whenever you're writing the range, remember, range always goes with the colon. So I2 to I44. Range could be, if I write down, you'll see here, equal J2 to I29. Oh, not J2. Let's do G2, sorry. G2. G2 to I29. You see how it selected all the range? It's G2 to I29. Okay, so range is really saying that whatever you put in it could be the same cell, multiple rows, but anything right next to each other. You cannot say, okay, eliminate, don't select H, column H, but select column G to G and I. That you can do it separately, but not in a range. Range is always everything that is close by. Okay, I hope this video helped you guys. Remember how range works, and also remember what is an absolute value, how does absolute value works, and we've talked about it. This is your absolute value or absolute reference. This simple reference is by putting the cell name. Also, if you're referencing to another sheet, you go by putting the sheet name, explanation mark, and then the cell number name. Okay, I hope it helps. I will be creating another video for you guys later on about if statement. Hope if you have any questions, please email me or text me. Thanks.